I'm Abela from Oxygen8 Consulting. I'm a business consultant with a strong tech background, helping small business owners move from chaos to calm and take their business to the next level. In this podcast, I share practical ideas and simple systems to make your business easier to run, more profitable, and more enjoyable to own. Some of the content is created with the help of AI tools, but the voice you're hearing right now is mine, and everything is grounded in real-world experience. If you'd like to learn more, get in touch, or download free notes and resources, head over to gobeyondbusy.com.
Ever feel like you're navigating your business in the dead of night? No headlights on, you're working hard, maybe even flooring it, but you've got this nagging feeling. You're not totally sure you're going the right way. It's a really common feeling for small business owners, especially in that $1 to $10 million turnover spot. You're juggling so much, and the idea of really digging into performance, it can feel like, just another thing on an already full plate. You want to get smarter, fast, but drowning in numbers, no thanks.
Yeah, that image, driving without headlights, it's spot on. And it highlights a real danger, actually. Think of business metrics as the dashboard for your company, your instruments. They give you vital signs, guide decisions. And it sounds stark, maybe, but the stats show something like 65% of startups don't make it past 10 years. And often, it's not a bad product. It's about not measuring, not adjusting performance effectively.
Exactly. So, this deep dive, it's designed to be your shortcut to clarity. We're not going to bombard you with complex formulas or, confusing jargon. We're focused on practical, straightforward guidance. Which numbers truly matter for a growing small business? How do you track them without feeling, overwhelmed?
And this isn't just theory, right? It's 2025. The business is thriving now. They're using data as a compass, not just gut feel. That 2024 ValueWorks report, it was pretty clear. Companies that track and act on the right metrics, they're like 2.5 times more likely to survive the first 3 years. That's a pretty compelling reason to pay attention.
Absolutely. So our mission today is simple, really. We want to pinpoint the critical numbers for businesses in that $1 to $10 million range, break down how to track them efficiently so you don't feel buried, and importantly, how to use these insights to fuel growth and simplify things. We'll cover spotting warning signs, finding hidden growth spots, making confident data-backed decisions, setting up tracking, building that data-driven mindset. Okay, let's unpack this. Why do these metrics even matter?
Well, fundamentally, they're the vital signs. Like a health check for your company, we can sort of group them. Financial metrics, money stuff, revenue, profit. Customer metrics, how you're doing with your market, acquisition, keeping customers happy. Operational ones, internal efficiency, how things run. And then growth metrics, looking ahead, potential for expansion.
Okay, so getting the whole picture.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many numbers you could look at. How do you tell what's important versus just noise?
That's the key distinction, isn't it? Meaningful versus superficial or vanity metrics. Meaningful ones, they're actionable, tied to your goals. They actually help you make decisions. Like having tons of social media followers might feel good, a vanity metric, right? But if they aren't turning into paying customers, it doesn't really hit the bottom line. What counts is stuff like conversion rates, website visitors taking action, leads becoming customers, things that, move the needle.
Right. Focus on what drives actual results. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you build the culture where metrics aren't just tracked, but actually used?
It's more than spreadsheets, yeah. Oh, absolutely. It starts with defining success for your business. The metrics you pick, they need to align with your stage, your objectives, early stage. Maybe it's product market fit, customer acquisition, burn rate, how fast you're spending cash, growth stage. Shifts maybe to customer retention, revenue growth. Mature business, often profitability, market share. It's definitely not one size fits all.
Okay, tailored. So how do you actually start putting it into practice?
A good way to start. Pick your top 3 business goals for, say, the next 6-12 months. Then for each goal, choose just 1 or 2 relevant metrics you can actually measure now. You don't need fancy tools right away. Free stuff like Google Analytics, maybe HubSpot CRM, even social media analytics. They give you a lot to start with. The key is regular review. Daily for some operational things, maybe weekly for customer growth, monthly for financials.
That sounds manageable. What are the usual roadblocks people hit when they first try this?
Data overload is a big one. It's easy to feel swamped. That's why focusing on maybe 5 to 7 core metrics tied to goals is so crucial. Resource constraints too. Time, maybe budget. But you can start basic. Month over month revenue growth, cost per new customer, satisfaction scores, website conversion. You can always expand later as you get comfortable as the business evolves.
And the downside of just ignoring metrics. I mean, some people seem to run on intuition, right?
Intuition has its place, definitely, especially early on. But ignoring metrics today, it can be really detrimental. You miss opportunities, waste resources on things that aren't working, make big strategic mistakes based on gut feel, not facts. You might miss market trends, ignore critical customer feedback, struggle to validate your model. Think of metrics like that, GPS. Shows where you are, guides you, warns you if you're veering off course.
Okay, yeah, got it. Importance clear, culture starting points clear. Let's get specific. Measuring the money coming in. Essential revenue metrics.
Revenue, it's the lifeblood, right? Understanding its flow is fundamental for growth, sustainability. But you got to dig deeper than just the total revenue number. A great start. Tracking monthly recurring revenue MRR and annual recurring revenue ARR. Example, 100 customers pay $50 a month. That's $5,000 MRR, $60,000 ARR. These give you predictability for forecasting, planning resource allocation. Investors love this stuff too. That's stability.
Yeah, predictability sounds incredibly valuable for planning. What other key revenue indicators should be on the radar?
Your revenue growth rate. Super critical. How fast are you expanding? Calculate it comparing periods this month versus last month, this quarter versus last year's quarter. Express it as a percentage. Revenue goes from 100K to 120K. That's 20% growth. Benchmarks vary, but healthy startups often aim for, say, 15-20% annual growth. HBR data suggests that. Also, revenue per customer, RPC. Average value each customer brings. Just divide total revenue by total customers. $100 revenue, 500 customers equals $200 RPC. Super useful for pricing, acquisition planning, spotting upsell opportunities.
So not just getting more customers, but understanding their individual value. Okay.
Yeah.
What about the quality of that revenue? Is all revenue equal?
Absolutely not. Smart owners look beyond the total and analyze the mix. Diverse revenue streams mean more resilience to market shifts. World Economic Magazine points this out. Track revenue across products, regions, customer segments. Watch for red flags. Core product growth declining. Too reliant on one big customer, say, over 20% of revenue. Big seasonal swings.
Right. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Makes sense. What's the difference between like good and bad revenue in terms of its nature?
Often it comes down to recurring versus one-time revenue. Recurring subscriptions, etc., gives predictable cash flow, usually lower acquisition costs long-term. You already got the customer. One-time revenue can have higher immediate margins, more flexibility maybe. Key is a healthy balance. Generally, avoid one customer being more than, say, 15-20% of total revenue. Spread it out geographically, across industries, mitigate risk, and always use these metrics for pricing decisions, forecasting. Consider costs and perceived value. For forecasting, mix historical data with market trends, projections, seasonal patterns, but careful. Don't just focus on vanity metrics that don't show true financial health, and don't ignore customer profitability.
Okay, money's coming in, but are we actually making money? Profitability, let's talk about that. Key metrics there.
Exactly. Revenue shows money in, but profitability shows if you're building sustainable wealth or just, spinning your wheels. Revenue's the speedometer, how fast you're going. Profit, that's the fuel gauge. Enough in the tank to get there. You need to understand profit metrics for smart decisions on pricing, cost management, resource allocation. It's essential for a sustainable journey.
So what are the different profit levels we should be looking at?
There are three main types, each telling a different story. First, gross profit. Shows how efficiently you produce and price things. It's revenue minus direct cost materials, direct labor. Sell $100, direct costs are $60. Gross profit is $40. That's a 40% gross margin. Needs to cover everything else and leave profit. Next, operating profit. Shows how well you manage day-to-day expenses. Salaries, rent, utilities, marketing. Take that $40 gross profit, subtract operating expenses, say $15. Operating profit is $25K. A 25% operating margin. A stable or rising operating margin. Good sign you're controlling overheads. Healthy business. Finally, net profit, the bottom line. What's left after all? Expenses, taxes, interest. Most complete picture. So that $25K operating profit minus tax interest, say $10. Net profit is $15K, a 15% net margin. Ultimate indicator of sustainable profit.
Okay, those are the levels. What about how well we're using invested money and overall financial health? What metrics give us that insight?
Right, beyond just the profit numbers, how efficiently are resources used? Return on equity, ROE, shows how well you're using shareholder money to make profit. $50 K net profit, $200 K equity, that's 25% ROE. High ROE attracts investors, shows capital is working hard, supports growth. Similarly, return on assets, ROA. How well all assets, cash, equipment, property generate profit. Same $50 K profit, $500 assets, that's 10% ROA. Important especially for asset-heavy businesses. Then, debt to equity ratio. Shows financial risk. A ratio of 0.5 means 50 cents debt for every $1 equity. Often seen as healthy, but it varies by industry. Capital-intensive industries might carry more debt naturally. And finally, crucially, monitor cash flow alongside profit. Profitable businesses can still fail if they run out of cash. Track operating cash flow, free cash flow, how quickly you turn inventory and receivables into cash. For profitability, set regular review cycles. Watch for warning signs, margins declining even if revenue grows. Lower profits than industry peers. Sudden weird fluctuations. Set realistic improvement targets. Balance short-term profit with long-term sustainability. All these metrics work together. Gotta look at them holistically for the full health picture. Like a comprehensive medical checkup, not just one reading.
Profitability check, fundamental. But let's shift focus to the people buying from us, our customers, our most valuable asset, right? What are the crucial customer metrics?
Yeah, imagine running a restaurant and never getting to know your diners. Names, favorites, how often they visit. You'd miss so many chances to make them happy, keep them coming back. Same for any business. Understanding customers through metrics, not just nice to have. It's essential today for survival, growth. And Harvard Business Review pointed out, getting a new customer costs 5 to 25 times more than keeping an existing one. That difference alone shows why customer metrics are so vital for sustainable growth.
Wow, 5 to 25 times, that's huge. So where do we even begin understanding customers with numbers?
The journey starts with two basics. How much does it cost to get a customer? And how much are they worth over time? Customer acquisition cost CAC. How much you spend on sales and marketing ads, content, salaries to win one new customer. Spend $10, hey, on marketing sales in a month, get 100 new customers. Your CAC is $100. That's your baseline. Is it efficient, sustainable? To optimize CAC, focus on content marketing, SEO for organic leads. Refine your conversion process constantly. Then, customer lifetime value, LTV, total potential revenue from one customer over their whole relationship with you. Think CAC is the investment, LTV is the potential return. Smart businesses maximize this return. How? Personalization, loyalty programs, maybe tailored recommendations, rewards points, exclusive member benefits, subscription models, annual discounts encourage long-term commitment too. Businesses focused on increasing LTV tend to achieve more sustainable, profitable growth than those just chasing new acquisition.
Okay, so cost to get them versus what they're worth long term. How do we know if that relationship is financially sound for the business?
Exactly. Analyzing the CAC to LTV ratio gives huge insight into your business model's health. Ideally, LTV should be way higher than CAC, getting much more back than you put in. That's a healthy, scalable sign, a common benchmark. Aim for LTV being at least 3 times your CAC. Suggests a good return on acquisition spend. Another great metric for satisfaction and loyalty, Net Promoter Score, NPS. You ask that simple question. Scale of 0 to 10, how likely are you to recommend us? Group customers. 9-10s are promoters, your loyal fans, likely referrers. 7-8s are passive satisfied, but kind of meh. Not enthusiastic. 0-6s are detractors unhappy, could spread negativity, hurt your reputation.
That's a really neat way to get a pulse check on overall customer feeling. What other key customer metrics should we watch?
Customer retention, absolutely critical for long-term health. Research by Frederick Reithelb, the guy who created NPS, showed a 5% bump in retention can boost profits by 25% to even 95%. Really highlights the value of nurturing those long-term relationships. Keeping clients cuts down the need for costly acquisition, boosts their lifetime value, drives overall profit and sustainability. To improve retention, address why customers leave, that's churn. Have a great onboarding process. Welcome them, show value quickly, communicate ongoing value content, success stories, updates, and crucially, provide amazing proactive support. Solve issues before they cause someone to leave. Finally, activation rate. Important if your product needs setup or engagement to show its value. Measures how well you turn new users into active, engaged users. Improve activation. Make onboarding smooth, intuitive. Clear guides, maybe interactive tutorials for quick wins. Show core value early. Offer multiple support options, chat videos, knowledge base. Help them succeed right away to make these metrics work. Consistent monitoring. Daily checks on signups, support tickets. Weekly look at activation, churn. Monthly deep dive on satisfaction, LTV. Create feedback loops. Surveys, social media monitoring, analyze support tickets, and most importantly, act on the insights. Develop targeted improvement plans. These aren't just numbers, they're windows into customer experience, needs, perceptions. Focus on them, act on them, build stronger relationships. That drives sustainable growth.
Okay, so revenue, profit, customers. Check. But what about behind the scenes? How do we know if the business is actually running efficiently? Operational metrics.
Super important question. You could have great revenue, lots of new customers, but if operations are inefficient, you could be heading for trouble. Remember that tech startup example? Rapid revenue, but failed. A big part was delayed launches, tech issues, backlogs, rising operational costs. They didn't track and optimize efficiency. It's about streamlining processes, managing costs, handling technical challenges, essential for scaling sustainably.
So, like checking the engine's performance.
Yeah,
What specific things should we measure operationally?
exactly. Operational metrics show how efficiently you turn resources, time, money, materials into customer value. Engine diagnostics help spot problems early. A good start. Resource use rate. How well are you using resources? Employee hours, equipment capacity, software licenses. Example. Dev team takes 30 days for a feature. Industry standard is 20. Potential efficiency gap to investigate. Calculate it. Actual hours used. Total available hours 100 for a percentage. Healthy rates. Often 75–85%. Too high might mean burnout risk. Too low. Inefficiency, underutilized resources. Task completion time, also really important, directly impacts delivering value promptly. Break down complex processes into steps to find bottlenecks. Software example. Measure design time, development time, testing time, deployment time separately. Pinpoints delays for targeted action. Cost per unit. Crucial for healthy margins, especially as you scale. Calculate. Total fixed and variable costs. Total units produced or services delivered. Monitor monthly. Catch cost increases early. Find streamlining opportunities. Service business. Track cost per client or project instead. Ensure pricing stays profitable.
Makes sense. Efficiency matters, but we don't want to sacrifice quality for speed or cost.
Absolutely not. While improving efficiency, quality can't slip. Success rate. How often tasks are done right the first time? No rework needed. Also track defect rate. Percentage of product services with flaws. And frequency of customer complaints. Reflects customer perception of quality. These ensure efficiency gains aren't hurting product quality, brand reputation, or loyalty. To start tracking operations. Few key steps. Identify 3 to 5 core processes with biggest impact. Automate tracking where possible, project tools, manufacturing systems, software. Have clear protocols for measuring. Train the team on why it matters, how to collect data accurately. Schedule regular weekly operational reviews. Discuss metrics, analyze trends, identify improvement areas together. Find efficiency gaps, prioritize them. Make actionable plans, clear timelines, assign responsibility, and celebrate wins. When targets are met, acknowledge it. Fosters a culture of continuous improvement. You don't need complex ERP systems immediately. Basic project tools for time tracking software for utilization, spreadsheets for quality metrics can work. As you grow, maybe look at more sophisticated BI platforms. The goal isn't perfect efficiency overnight. It's about a mindset of continuous improvement. Implement relevant measures, act on insights, build a lean, agile, effective operation, maximize resources, maintain quality. Start with a few critical metrics today. Let your measurement evolve with the business.
Okay, covered revenue, profit, customers, operations. But there's one more huge financial piece. Can make or break you, even if you look healthy otherwise. Cash flow. What's our cash flow telling us? Key metrics there.
Absolutely critical point. Remember Sarah, the baker. $50K monthly revenue, but struggled to pay suppliers. Took loans for operating costs. Her story shows strong revenue doesn't equal healthy cash flow. And that U.S. Chamber of Commerce stat, only about 72% of small businesses feel comfortable with their cash flow. Underscores why understanding these metrics is vital for survival.
Wow, yeah, that's sobering. So what are the fundamental cash flow aspects we need to get?
Think of cash flow like 3 rivers feeding your main cash reserve. First, operating cash flow. Money from core business activities. Sarah's daily bakery sales. Second, investment cash flow. Money from buying, selling long-term assets. Buying new ovens, selling old equipment. Third, financing cash flow. Money from loans, investments, or money spent repaying debt, paying dividends. Looking at all 3 gets the full picture of how money moves through the business. Operating cash flow is the engine of financial health. Shows how well core ops generate cash. Calculate it. Start with net income, add back non-cash expenses like depreciation, adjust for working capital changes, like receivables increasing or inventory decreasing. Example, $100 net income plus $20 depreciation, $15 increase in receivables plus $5 key increase in inventory equals $110 operating cash flow. Steadily growing operating cash flow. Great sign of sustainable operations. Funds day-to-day allows reinvestment, debt paydown, growth. Beyond operating cash flow, track free cash flow. Cash left after operating expenses and long-term asset investments. Shows financial flexibility. For growth initiatives, debt reduction, building reserves. Crucial number. Another key one, cash conversion cycle. Average days to turn inventory investment into cash from sales. Shorter cycle usually means more efficient working capital management. Example, 30 days to sell inventory, DIO, plus 45 days to collect payment, DSO, 6 days to pay suppliers, DPO, equals 15 days cash conversion cycle.
Okay, understand where cash comes from, where it goes. What about how fast we might be spending it?
Knowing your burn rate is essential to avoid cash crises. Monthly burn rate is just the net decrease in cash over a month. Start month with $100K cash, end with $80. Burn rate is $20K. Know your average burn rate. Then calculate cash runway, how many months you can operate on current reserves. Just divide current cash balance by average monthly burn rate. $100 cash 20K burn rate equals 5 months runway. Monitoring burn rate and runway helps anticipate shortages, gives time to act, cut costs, boost sales, seek funding. To improve cash flow, 2 main strategies. Speed up money coming in, manage money going out. Inflows, offer small discounts for early payment. Efficient billing, accept multiple payment methods. Make it easy to pay you fast. Outflows, negotiate better supplier terms. Time large purchases strategically. Optimize inventory levels. Don't tie up too much cash. Also smart. Build reasonable cash reserves. Handle seasonal dips, emergencies, grab sudden opportunities. Technology helps track this. QuickBooks, Xero for basics. Float, Pulse for forecasting. Tableau for deeper analysis. Lots of options. Set a regular monitoring schedule. Daily cash check. Weekly receivables payables review. Monthly full cash flow analysis. And watch for early warnings. Declining operating cash flow. More past due invoices. Inventory days increasing. Taking longer to pay suppliers. Have contingency plans, lines of credit established before you need them. Build relationships with lenders, investors when things are good. Healthy cash flow isn't luck. It needs proactive management, consistent attention to these metrics. Implement tracking, adopt optimization strategies. Build that strong financial foundation for sustainable growth.
This has been incredibly insightful. Covered so much ground on why metrics are vital, the key ones across different areas. But actually staying on top of all these numbers still feels like it could be overwhelming for busy owners. How do we build a practical tracking system that doesn't become like a job in itself?
That's a really valid concern, a feeling many entrepreneurs have. Think about John, that software founder. Spent hours piecing together data from spreadsheets, analytics, CRM, still struggled for clear insights. His turning point, a streamlined dashboard approach, focusing only on metrics most critical to his current goals. He cut tracking time by like 70% in 3 months and made better decisions. The key is a regular monitoring rhythm aligned with your business cycle. Start the day with a quick, maybe 15-minute check of critical numbers, cash, yesterday's sales, urgent support issues, vital signs monitor. Catches immediate problems. Then maybe weekly. Dedicate 30 minutes. Look at customer acquisition, sales pipeline progress, marketing campaign performance, spot trends, adjust strategies. And monthly. Schedule a deeper, maybe 2-hour dive. Profitability, growth rates, operational efficiency. Just starting out. Focus on just 5 to 7 core metrics most relevant now. You can always add more gradually as you grow, understand data better, develop capabilities.
That structured rhythm sounds way more manageable. What about actually getting the data and organizing it? Any tips to make that easier, less time-consuming?
Absolutely. Automation is the real key here. Turns tracking from a chore into something more streamlined, insightful. You don't have to jump into complex software right away. Start simple. Basic formulas and spreadsheets can automate calculations from raw data. As needs grow, data volume increases. Then look at integrating platforms, maybe dedicated BI tools. And involve your team. Super important. Assign responsibilities for tracking specific metrics. Give them basic analytics training. Why track this? How does it matter? How does their work impact goals? Maybe create a simple dashboard everyone can see. Shows their metrics, how they contribute to the bigger picture. When setting up tracking, build in warning systems. Alerts if key metrics go off track, like email notification if cash drops below a threshold, or a sudden spike in customer complaints. Proactive approach catches problems before they escalate. Finally, foster open communication about metrics. Brief daily huddles. Share updates, observations. Keeps everyone aligned, catches issues fast. Weekly team meetings. Dedicate time to analyze trends together. Celebrate wins when metrics improve. Remember, effective tracking is about progress, not perfection day one. Start critical, automate where you can, build capabilities over time. Goal isn't tracking everything, it's monitoring what truly drives the business forward, leaving time to analyze insights and act on them. Choose what you measure so you can manage it.
This whole deep dive, it's been such a valuable practical framework for understanding and using metrics. But just having the data, that's not the end game, is it? How do we take these insights and actually turn them into tangible, positive results?
You're absolutely right. Tracking is just step one, really. Having the data is great, but the real power, the growth potential, it lies in how effectively you use that data to drive improvements everywhere in the business. The difference between businesses that succeed and those that struggle often comes down to how well they analyze and respond to what their metrics are telling them. Building that action-oriented culture starts with transparency. Make key metrics visible, dashboards, regular updates. When people see the connection between their daily work and the outcomes, they get more engaged, motivated to improve things. You can manage growth, say from 10 people to 100, by keeping metrics transparent and having clear protocols for responding to changes. Starts simple, maybe shared spreadsheets, evolves to BI systems, but keeps everyone informed, maintains effectiveness. The real test, turning insights into concrete actions. Establish clear triggers and response protocols for key metrics. Example, churn rate jumps 5% in a month. Protocol might be contact leaving customers for feedback, analyze themes, review support tickets for patterns, all with timelines, assigned responsibilities. And remember, metrics don't exist in silos. They're interconnected across departments. Sales reports a drop in lead conversion. Shouldn't just trigger action in sales. Needs marketing strategy review, maybe even look at the product roadmap. Are there underlying issues? Essential to have those regular review rhythms daily, weekly, monthly. Focus and reviews should be on actions based on the data, not just passively looking at numbers. Involve the whole team. They often have invaluable ground-level insights into what the numbers mean and how to improve things together. As you go on this journey, remember, building a data-driven business is an evolution, not an overnight switch. Start basic, set clear action protocols for critical metrics, expand capabilities as your team gets comfortable making decisions with data. But always maintain focus on taking concrete action. The best metrics mean nothing if they don't lead to tangible improvements. Operations, customer engagement, financial performance, it takes time, patience, but the rewards, efficiency, profitability, sustainable growth are absolutely worth the effort. Take what you've learned, start implementing. One metric, one action, one improvement at a time.
This whole deep dive has provided such a valuable and practical framework. And it really strikes me, for a small business owner, maybe in that $1 to $10 million range, looking to grow and simplify operations, like we hear about on the Go Beyond Busy podcast, having expert guidance here could make a huge difference.
You've hit on a really crucial point there. For a business that size, aiming for growth while trying to simplify, getting support from a business consultant with a strong tech background, that can be an incredibly smart move. Someone like Abela, you hear her on Go Beyond Busy, right? She gives practical, actionable advice tailored exactly for owners in this range. What's great about her approach, I think, is her non-technical style. It really demystifies growth and simplification for busy entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. She really does have a knack for making complex ideas feel accessible and, immediately usable. And I know she has a fantastic business network too, which is a bonus.
Exactly. A consultant like Christine can be invaluable. They can help implement the very tracking and analysis systems we've talked about, but tailored specifically to your business, your structure, your goals. They bring that expert guidance, that objective perspective, make sure you're cracking the right things, setting up efficient processes, and crucially, turning insights into action plans that actually drive results.
It really sounds like that kind of support could seriously speed up a small business's journey to being truly data-driven and achieving that scalable growth.
Oh, without a doubt. Having someone with that mixed strong business sense and tech understanding, it can be a total game changer for a growing small business.
This has been so comprehensive, so insightful. To wrap up, what's the single most important takeaway you want our listeners to walk away with today?
The core message, I think, is this. Business success in 2025 and beyond. It's increasingly tied to understanding and acting on the right metrics. This deep dive hopefully gave you a practical roadmap, moving from guessing to knowing where your business stands and where it's heading.
And it's not about doing everything at once, right? Just starting.
Precisely. Take action today. Start small. Identify 1 or 2 critical metrics for where you are now. Gradually build from there. Remember, every big successful company started by tracking just a few key numbers important for their initial growth.
And for listeners wanting to dig deeper or find resources.
Definitely visit gobeyondbusy.com. You'll find show notes for this, maybe some useful free downloads, and info on how to connect with resources, potentially people like Christine, who can support your growth journey.
Fantastic. And finally, a thought to leave everyone mulling over. Now that you have a clearer picture of your business's vital signs, what's the first metric you'll focus on to drive real, meaningful change?
Thanks for listening to Go Beyond Busy. If something in today's episode struck a chord, or you'd like support to get your business to the next level, head over to gobeyondbusy.com. You'll find more resources there and an easy way to get in touch. I'm your host, Christine Abela from Oxygen8 Consulting, helping you to fall in love with your business all over again. Thanks for joining me.